How to get started with process mining. Let's see how to get started with a process mining project. There are two different approaches to work on process mining. One is more exploratory in nature, driven by the curiosity to know how our business processes effectively perform. This is not necessarily driven by a given question and will take the form of discovering the process model, doing a conformance analysis, or compare different variants. The second approach is driven by a given question. For example, we want to understand the root causes for certain process deviations to take place. For example, we want to find out why certain claims take too long. So in this case, we need to identify and scope a problem and use the set of process mining methods that can help us find a solution for that particular problem. So the first approach is typically descriptive in nature. It will describe the log, it will describe the data from the viewpoint of the business process. Whereas the second is more discriminative in nature. It would typically be related to finding differences between different variances or normative and deviant process behavior. So the first approach typically then leads to the second one. Once we have identified what the real problems are, so we can tailor the methods of process mining to these problems. So for a question-driven approach, there are typically 5 phases. First, we need to frame and plan the problem. Then we need to collect the data, analyze such data, interpret this data in order to create insights, and eventually we can use these insights to build a business case that will lead to a process improvement proposal.